Hey Cold Cats, it's Paul from the Magic Word, and the word of this week is magistrate, because Drannith Magistrate got banned in Brawl earlier this week. So, what is a magistrate? A magistrate is a judge or officer of the law who enforces the law, and Drannith is the largest city in Ikoria, so Drannith Magistrate is just the guy who makes sure rules are enforced on Drannith. And so when we look at Drannith Magistrate, it's a white creature. White cards typically care about law and order in society, what's best for the good of everyone. And this creature prevents creatures from being cast anywhere outside your hand. What this implies is in Brawl you can't cast your commander because it's not in your hand, it's in the command zone. So I don't play Brawl specifically, but I think Brawl's kind of like Commander, EDH, so I think this card is good for those formats. As a speed bump, it's going to make decks not just focus only on their commander, they're going to be a little more flexible, but it seems like they don't want that for Brawl. It seems like they want Brawl to be just as focused in on those cards as possible, and so this card, this Drannith Magistrate, he got disbarred earlier this week. You're not going to be seeing him anymore. Now we're going to look at some other magistrates. So the first one we'll see is the Immaculate Magistrate, which is a card from Lorwyn. It's an elf that pumps up other elves. We know the elves from Lorwyn were very into beauty. They had a caste system based on beauty. And so this Immaculate Magistrate is one of the judges, if something's beautiful enough or not to be worthy of the Immaculate class caste system. So this is another magistrate. Then we'll go to the last three magistrate cards that they've printed, and these all are from the Mercadian Masks set on the plane of Mercadia. So the thing about Mercadia is it's an upside down mountain with Mercadia on top. So just like the geography is upside down, society is kind of upside down. Like there's weird things throughout the story. One would be that goblins are in charge. So we'll see from Magistrate's veto, based on the flavor, that the goblin is in charge instead of this fancy looking guy. The card itself, white and blue creatures can't block. This is a card that you're going to put in a deck if you know you're going to be facing white or blue creatures, but if not, you wouldn't put it in there. So yeah, it's kind of a basic card. I would probably not use this card. I'd rather use something that just gives all your creatures menace. The next two Magistrate cards are, I think, a little better, probably more well-known. They might still be kind of hidden in terms of EDH decks, but we're going to look at the Magistrate's Scepter. So this costs 3 to play, and then you have to pay 4 3 turns in a row to get enough charge counters to finally get that extra turn. So that's 15 mana over 4 turns to get 1 extra turn. And if you're spending your mana doing that, you're not doing much else extra on your turns. So it's really intensive, and it's going to kind of divert you from the plan that your deck wants to be doing, kind of defending. But if you put this in a deck that's already doing things like that, can be a good card. If you're playing cards that already can untap artifacts more than once a turn, for example, cards like Clock of Omens or Unbender Tine can untap permanents more than once a turn. And then if you also have things, maybe proliferating cards that can add more counters on to the Magistrate's Scepter to add those charge counters, you might be able to reduce the time that you can take that extra turn a lot more quickly. And every extra turn that you get with this card means it's paying off, it's valuable. So this card can be good in decks that are already doing that. You probably don't want to put it in any deck just to get an extra turn because it's not going to happen. And finally, the last Magistrate card is a card that I actually use in some decks, and this illustrates what I was talking about, the upside down mountain. This is Tower of the Magistrate, and so this comes into play untapped, good, adds a generic colorless, okay, and also for the low cost price of 1 colorless and tap it, you can give a creature protection from artifacts. So protection is kind of complicated or wordy. When it comes to protection, I think of DEBT, debt, protection will give your creature or permanent prevents damage from that. It can't be enchanted or equipped. It can't be blocked, and it can't be targeted by anything that it has protection from. So this gives a creature protection from artifacts. So it can't be targeted for something like Icy Manipulator or Vidalcan Shackles, if you don't want your stuff messed with by the opponent's artifacts. But you can also use this ability on someone else's creatures. So if you want to play politics, you can give an opponent's creature protection to maybe help them out. Because if you give the creature protection, they can also block artifact creatures, and your creature won't take any damage. It'll survive that artifact creature no matter what. And then finally, you can give a creature protection from artifacts, and what this does, using the enchant or equipment, it will make any equipments fall off that card. So for example, I'm being attacked by a Rafik of the Many, very strong Voltron commander, attacking me by himself, equipped up with his Sword of Feast and Famine, and locks it on Warhammer. That's a big hit. I don't want to get hit by that. So what I can do is I can pay 1 and tap my Tower Magistrate, give that Rafik of the Many protection from artifacts. That makes the Warhammer, the sword, anything he has on him fall off. So that's a good way to mess with creatures on the opposing side of the board. He can later re-equip those artifacts, but I can also give him protection again, and they'll fall off just as easily. So that's all the magistrates that we have for today. Do you think that the Drannith Magistrate should be banned? I gave my opinion. I think no. Keep it around. I want to see how it impacts the format further. But maybe you play Brawl more than me, and you have the narrow vision. You know what this card's going to do. So let me know in the comments, and we'll hash it out. Anyway, I'll see you in the future.